Hey everyone, welcome back to my podcast. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. This is Anthony, and I want to open up with something I've noticed recently. Ever since I started posting or making a podcast and more openly sharing my thoughts about a lot of different things, some people have supported me and some people have actually unfollowed me. Some people who used to support what I had to say actually have now suddenly gone silent. And it's kind of doesn't pass unnoticed by me that certain people will watch my stories and then once I actually post something that's political, suddenly choose to disappear. And honestly, that's fine. I'm not here to please everyone. I'm here to talk about things that matter. And even if it makes people uncomfortable, I know that not everyone is going to be agreeing with me, and I don't expect people to. But what I do wish, and I hope, actually, not wish, but I hope, because I've heard that wish as shit. I hope that people start to think critically, about your own beliefs, narratives, biases, and about things that you come across, and not just dismiss things without a second thought. And that actually ties into my podcast today and today's episode. I want to talk about a fake image that I came across this last week and that I saw circulating and how it connects to Trump's immigration policies, the spread of misinformation, and the way emotions can cloud our judgment. Because as much as I believe and I stand for what I believe in, I also think it's very important to question things, even when things might align with my own beliefs or views. It's been a minute since I did my last episode, and honestly, that's just because the last couple of weeks, I've just been mentally exhausted. Ever since Trump won the election, it's just been hard to keep up with everything that he's doing, the damage he's causing to this country, and for the 4 years before his prior re-election, I didn't have to wake up thinking about what shit did the president of the United States tweet out today or do today. And I knew that this would happen, just like his first term. Single day is chaos, distraction, and destruction. But the difference is this time is that we know what he's capable of, and he's worse than ever. So let's get into it. His supporters have spent years pushing lies and misinformation about voter fraud, immigration, and law enforcement. They love to call undocumented immigrants illegal aliens and criminals while excusing Trump's actual crimes. He's a convicted felon. He was impeached twice. They love to say that they're for law and order, but then have no problem with him trying to overturn an election. And now they just are cheering for deportations, ICE raids in schools and churches, and the banning of a pride flag from federal buildings. Over the past week, I've actually been in a few discussions that really made me think about how people can easily fall for lies and misleading narratives and how bias can shape the way that we see the world. And some people just choose to refuse or acknowledge the hypocrisy in their own beliefs. A voter ID debate, a fake picture going viral online, to Trump's immigration policies and the banning of the pride flag. There's just a lot to break down, so let's get into it. Every election, the argument about voter ID comes up. But I'm going to be real, this just wasn't even a major debate until Trump. He took it to a whole nother level because he refused to admit that he lost. He pushed baseless conspiracies and tried to convince millions of people that elections in the United States, in this democracy, are rigged. Why? Because he lost. So obviously they're rigged against him, right? He made voter fraud despite there being zero evidence. And what happened when he actually tried to take these claims to court? Do you remember? He lost time after every single time. Even judges he appointed throughout the cases. But somehow he kept screaming about law and order, and senators and representatives and voters and supporters just have no issue actually ignoring facts and court rulings because they don't fit their narrative. And now they talk about pushing voter ID laws as if there's actually some election security issue. But let's get real. Registering to vote already requires a lot of security. You actually have to provide your own personal information, like a social security number. And the real purpose of these laws isn't security, it's suppression. And I'm talking about the laws that Trump and his people are trying to pass. They try to make it harder for certain groups, like people of color and low-income voters, to cast their votes. And then there's this ridiculous claim that undocumented immigrants voting. I mean, now, who in their right mind, living under the threat of deportation, is going to risk it all and commit a felony for one vote? It just makes no fucking sense. But logic has never been a requirement for all these conspiracy theories that we see. Another thing that I came across this week, there was a photo that I saw online that started circulating everywhere, and I'm sure you saw it too, where there's ICE agents and they're detaining and taking away a Latino, and on the back of his shirt it says Latinos for Trump, obviously implying that they're, who supported Trump. And a lot of people believed it. Is that Latinos voting for Trump have now become the target of his policies. And they thought that this wouldn't happen. But it is happening. But the photo itself, is it real? No, it's fake. First came across the picture, I did take a moment to pause about it because I thought, I don't know, this picture there's something off about this picture. And I started digging a little deeper into the of this picture, and I ended up finding out that it actually was not real. It was a fake Photoshop picture where the picture was true. It did happen. The whole Trump, Latinos for Trump on the back of his shirt was Photoshopped in. So it was fake. And so I kept coming across that picture of people posting it all over the internet. And when I came across it, I say, hey, just so you know, a real picture is fake. And I came across some people who would tell me, well, it doesn't matter, who cares if it's fake. But do think that facts matter. Justifying misinformation just because it supports our views, then you lose the ability to call out the other side when they spread lies. And trust me, they will use it against us. Trump's policies, we are seeing that they're already hurting Latinos because there's no need to rely on some fake image when there's actually plenty of real ones